Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 571. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
The God of War has returned.
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
And Brian Manjoma.
What up, what up?
All right, guys, we have returned with another Sunday show. And there's already heads in the house. Who's here? We got Kuel, Kiss Shack, Barry Burton holding it down. And the voice of God himself, my cousin. What's up, brother?
The only person whose voice is deeper than T.C. Carson and
this is true.
And what's his face who plays
Christopher Judge? Yeah,
Christopher Judge.
What's going on, Chris? It's my man right there. You know, it's my dude, right, Carlos?
That's my dude.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, okay, let's get into it, man. Kiss Shack, I'm glad you're here because first question we're answering is yours, brother. And I like this question. It might be my favorite question of the week. I know I shouldn't pick favorites, but I like it. It's a good question.
What's up with that?
As I saw you in I think it was Tumeke talking about it, you know. All right, let's get into it. Our new PlayStation gamers, the ones that jump ship from the Xbox 360 to PS4, the reason why the PlayStation community feels divided on what direction PlayStation should be going toward. It feels like the new guys want PlayStation to go more towards AAA graphics and production value, while the OG guys who were there at the start want PlayStation to go back to the experimental, varied games. Now, this is inspired by all the discussions happening about the 2D God of War game. Some people are like, yo, we wanted a exclusive, and you give us this shit? What the fuck? While other people, like me, are like, cool, do more stuff like that. You know, so there is a divide. And yes, for you guys who don't know, for when the PS4 came out, half of the user base was 360 people. They didn't like what was happening with the Xbox One. They jumped ship, you know? And I think those guys may be expecting, you know, the big AAAs, the Uncharted, The Last of Us, God of War, Horizon. You know, meanwhile, the old cats, you know, we would expect like the stuff we used to get even up until PS3 era. We used to get a lot of cool experimental stuff. So it is kind of, again, I haven't played the new God of War 2D game. It could be bad. I don't know, right? But I also don't like the fact that people are shitting on it just by looking at a screenshot. You know, I'm like, come on, guys. Like, isn't this what you want Sony to do? A nice mix. But maybe these guys don't want that. Maybe they just want the big, crazy AAA blockbuster $300 million games, you know?
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that I think there's a give and a take. And I feel like, I don't know, it just seems like, I think just judging by the pivot that it seems like PlayStation is making currently, like all of a sudden they're announcing a remake of the God of War trilogy. I feel like that is an answer to the problem that has plagued this specific generation, where they went full in on multiplayer those subscription
games as a service
games as a service titles. You know, the 12 that most of them got canceled. You know, because I think that's what this is. I think that you're probably going to see a lot more of these sort of like smaller experiences that may take advantage of existing PlayStation IP. So I can understand where the expectation is, because I don't think PlayStation has really ever done. They've done 2D games, but they've never really, like, the smallest they ever got whenever it came to like a sequel, you know, like a insert game was the Ghost, the 2 God of Wars for the PSP, and then there was this one mobile God of War game that came out a while ago. But other than that, I think it's just I think this is a prelude to something that might be more of these sort of smaller titles sort of coming in the future. But do I think that there's a divide? I think it's a general expectation divide. I don't think it's actually fully connected to any specific Xbox player or PlayStation player. I think it's just that I think the divide is that it's the folks that don't remember and the folks that just grew up with the other half of everything when
That's
everything
also
was
a
just
factor.
you know.
Yeah, the guys who grew up with just the triple A's and stuff. Because I really started with the, really started on with the PS3, right? And that's a whole generation. That's like 20 years worth of titles like that, generally speaking. So yeah, I think that's probably a factor as well. But regardless, so even if you don't have like the quote unquote 360 crowd, there is still a divide there for sure, you know. By the way, shout out to Mr. Torrance Davis. He's in the chat.
What's up, Mr. Davis?
So regarding the God of War game, he says it was cute and along the lines of the other Sparta games. Not really, because those were still proper 3D games. They weren't really 2D games. He goes, my issue with the whole state of third-person action games is just that. Too many third-person action games with swords and bows and arrows. It was a great show, but damn, can they come up with anything else for that console? This kind of does tie into what we're talking about. PlayStation.
Marathon.
Yeah, Marathon. That is true. That's a gun game, but...
abundance of gun games.
Yeah, it is what PlayStation thinks the fans want. And obviously, they've made a lot of money with these type of games, But I still think the 2D God of War game is a good thing. I'm glad that happened, Yeah. Yeah, Torrance is on the YouTube stream, Coel.
It's interesting to try to dissect which subset of the fan base this pertains to, because like you guys mentioned, it's not anyone that's older than PS3. Because I think for the most part, people that grew up with or played the PS2 or love the PS2 are probably happy about this.
Yeah.
The 360 crowd, and I think you all mentioned it, most of them that came through were multiplayer players.
Yeah.
So they played multiplayer games like Madden and FIFA and all their shooting games, Call of Duty on Xbox, and a lot of them moved to PlayStation after the PS4 or during the PS4 generation.
Yeah. So
I don't know if they would be that upset about God of War. I feel like it's mostly a fanboy thing, like a pony kind of thing, more of a new age pony type of ordeal where all they expect is AAA kind of, Dad of War. All they know is Dad of War.
Yeah, I think we kind of hit it on the head. Yeah, I agree. I think we kind of hit on it. It's probably not the 360 guys. It's probably just the generational divide, right? Because if you're 13 years old, right, and you're playing a PS3 and you're getting Uncharted and The Last of Us and shit, that's what you're gonna expect. You don't get that. You're like, hey, what the fuck? Think about it. If you were 13 when the PlayStation 3 came out, 2006, you'd be old now, expecting that shit. I know, man. I know you and I were already in our late 20s when that shit came out.
We were already adults when all of this stuff was started. Like think about it. When Final Fantasy 7 and Metal Gear Solid came out,
we were teenagers.
We were like in our late teens. 18.
Yeah, late
like
teens.
18.
Yep.
18.
Yep, 17 and 18 respectively for Final Fantasy.
18,
yeah, Metal Gear, because Final Fantasy was 1997 and then Metal Gear 1998. So yeah, we'd be 17, 18, yeah. But again, if you're a kid, you're 13 and shit, playing Uncharted for the first time in 2008, now you're 30-something years old. That's the shit you expect,
That's the stuff you expect, especially when you have 20 years of that sort of stuff. That's a lot of people don't remember that era or weren't alive for that era.
So I think that's what it is. It's really more of an age thing. It's not really the Xbox guys. Kishak, I know you want to throw the Xbox guys under the table. I get it. But no, I think in this case, it's not really them. It's like Carlos said, those guys were just coming over for the multiplayer games. They didn't really coming over for the PlayStation games. Actually, they came over because Xbox One sucks. I'll try this shit. They got Call of Duty. I'll play it. Oh, man. What about you, Brian? You got any thoughts on that?
I have numerous thoughts on this, and most of them are bad, which weirdly enough aligns me with David Jaffe out of all people.
We got to talk about him in a bit. Go ahead.
First things first is I just don't understand who this game is targeting, because one, it's based on, again, the Greek Kratos, which at this point in time, Sony Santa Monica doesn't, by the fact that they made the Norse games, says to me that they want to move away from that. So going back to the Greek stuff, okay, fine. But then it's a prequel to the OG God of War. And the last time they did a prequel to the OG God of War, it was forgotten about, as you can see, because when they announced the remasters, there's nothing for Ascension. So it's kind of like, okay, we're doing this again. And if they wanted to really go for it and say, okay, you know what, this is going to be like a prelude to the to the Greek games, then why drop it now? Whereas we don't even have a date for the remasters. So again, I'm just trying to understand where this fits in with anything. It seems to be just thrown out there, and it's confusing to me. And honestly, I'm just sat here thinking, I don't know who this appeals to, and I don't know why it exists. So I'm happy to hear why people like it, but I'm just sat here just thinking, why does this exist? I don't know.
To be honest, I think it's more of an explanation point than anything. I don't think it's even really a toe dip into anything. I think this thing only exists to essentially sweeten the deal of the announcement of the trilogy, the remake trilogy. You know, I don't think if you look at the size of the studio that made this thing, they're not a big studio. I think they just said, okay, we need a little something extra to go along with just announcing something, just announcing that we're going to be working on something. So I think that's what the true reason that this is for. It's more of a, hey, God of War, a Greek trilogy is coming back. So here's a little taste of a story that you've never heard from the God of War world, which I won't go into detail about. I'll talk about that later.
Any other thoughts, Brian? You said you had a bunch.
Oh no, that was just most of them just rattled off one by one. So, yeah. Again, when I heard of it, because I've seen the poster, and I was like, okay, Thunder Sparta co-op God of War game sounds like a cool idea. And then I seen the gameplay, and I was like, okay, fine, trying something new, something different. But I'm just, again, it just feels off something feels off, and I don't know what. And it's bugging me.
There's no target audience that you could really point to for this one. Like the OG God of War fans aren't used to this type of combat. The new God of War fans aren't used to this. Like it really doesn't fit any of those categories. So yeah, I can understand why.
I would agree that. I would agree on that. Granted, it does take some of the stuff from Ghost of Sparta, some of the combat with the spear from Ghost of Sparta. But yeah, I definitely think it's a weird amalgam game. So it's like it's trying to be in that space of the original God of Wars, but it doesn't have that the energy of the original God of War. Like and that's where David Jaffe sort of comes in on that one, where that's what his disappointment is with this title, is that it's saying it's a God of War game, but it doesn't capture any of the phonetic energy of a God of War that of the first trilogy, even though it takes place in that time. Like, what if mini Kratos and Deimos were essentially fighting as crazy as like Kratos fights in the original game, like ripping the eye out of the fucking Cyclops and all that other that really heavy duty stuff.
Yeah, Rich, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, first and foremost, let me say I do agree with what Tony said. I am glad that the game exists, only because there is something else that Sony is trying to do as far as giving you a different type of play experience. If you were to ask me to play this game or the Horizon Online game, I'm not playing that Horizon Online game. Right? That's not going to happen. I want to play Horizon 3 whenever that drops, but that's why I said I definitely understand the critiques, because if you played the original God of War trilogy, you obviously are expecting more from this game. And again, I haven't had a chance to play the game because there are too many games out right now. If this was a game where it's supposed to be a coming of age type of game where you are seeing that character Kratos transform, and maybe it starts at the beginning of the game where yes, they're fighting enemies and then they start to get more brutal towards the end, I would be okay with that because you're seeing a transformation of the character. But again, I haven't played it yet, so I don't really know to what extent they go with the actual game. But I do think it is good, at least, that there are some other things that Sony is trying to do aside from this live service garbage of these other games that they're releasing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, my kind of general thought is, and again, I haven't played the game, right? So this could be part of it, but probably isn't. I don't understand why they went with like, I guess, teenage Kratos. Is that what I'm looking at here? Like, Manny, what is he like? Is he a kid or something?
Oh no, these are kids. This is like they're the age that they are in. I think some of the flashbacks in Ghost of Sparta.
Yeah,
like
okay.
They're young.
Okay, so my opinion does stand then. I just had to be sure. I don't understand why we couldn't just get a proper Kratos in this game. Kratos had so many adventures when he, from the time he became, like Athena's whatever, until the first God of War game, there was a lot of adventures, right? So I'm like, okay, if you have God of War stuff in this game already, all the crazy mythological monsters, the crazy deaths and all this shit, why not just have it be regular Kratos? Why does it have to be a little kid Kratos? It's weird, I
can see the only reasoning I can see picking this era of Kratos and Deimos is if you are attempting to tell the story of how Deimos became, went into, essentially became went to hell or whatever, or went to what led to essentially him, showing up in Ghost of Sparta the way he was.
But from what I heard, it doesn't do that.
No, it doesn't.
So I'm like, what's the point? Because what you just described would be fucking cool, right? And to me, it would get. I'm not gonna say it's not worthwhile. This is worthwhile. It's fine. I'm just saying for me, it would get me more interested if we either had adult Kratos in some adventure you never heard of doing Kratos shit, or Deimos in Hades doing something cool. Either one. I don't understand why they went with the little kid thing. And I want to go back to something Brian said. Like, you said that it's a co-op game. Yes, with an asterisk. And a lot of people, and in my opinion, they're justifiably upset about that. You can't say this is a co-op whatever game without telling them, hey, you got to beat the whole fucking game first to unlock that. That's wrong, man. You shouldn't do that.
No, they shouldn't have done that. Like, if you're gonna say it has co-op, then say it has, then put in the co-op off the bat. This sort of like, because it's a couch co-op. Like, why are you gonna then why wait to unlock a portion of the game again? Like, you see like situations where people say they want to play with their significant other or play with somebody else, and you can't do that right now.
That's stupid.
Really?
Yeah, that's really dumb. I legit don't understand the logic behind that. Because to me, if it was co-op from the jump, that like, okay, I get why this game exists. I get it. That's its hook.
The idea that of Kratos and Deimos working together, but also the other thing that and I feel like is a missed opportunity, is probably a weakness of that specific studio, is it's only a couch co-op and it's not a online co-op.
Yeah, that's
like how
strange.
Yeah, like okay, and then again, like a drop, how cool would it have been if it was a drop in, drop out sort of co-op situation where you pick up the controller and then automatically you're playing Deimos, or if you hooked up with somebody online, they're playing Deimos, or you do like Peace Walker does, where in other words, you're flipped, or somebody, you know what I mean? Like, in other words, you might be playing Kratos, and you see Kratos on your side, and then the other guy on the other side sees that they're playing Kratos, but you're just literally just playing, it just makes the skin look different. But yeah, it feels like it's a missed opportunity. The co-op should have been right there from the beginning, and you shouldn't be advertising an aspect that you have to essentially defeat at the end, get into the end, and it should have been known off the bat. Okay, co-op, but it's only if you completed it.
Yeah. Kishak says, this is regarding, because David Jaffe doesn't like this game, right? He was talking a lot of shit.
No, he doesn't.
Which, in my opinion, is extremely classless. Even if you don't like the game, you don't talk shit about like the studio that's taking up your creation. Very classless of him, So so I just want to bring that up to give context to what Kishak says here. I just think David Jaffe doesn't like Metroidvania games. There's a room in Metroid Dread called the David Jaffe room. Yeah, if you guys remember, this was a few years ago when Metroid Dread came out. He played it for 30 minutes and he hated it because he didn't know what to do, even though it was clearly telling him what to do. I think he may not like Metroidvania games, right? But regardless, even if he feels that way, I think it's a very bad look to do that type of here's the thing. If they were doing something so heinously awful with the game, did some crazy shit, then I get it. But they're not doing anything wild. It's just, hey, here's a cool Metroidvania game. It's not disrespecting the IP. He should have not, but this is David. Here's the thing. David Jaffe, he's going to call it what it is. Dude's a has-been. He's just trying to get attention where he can right now. And this is a way of getting easy attention. Creator of God of War shits on the new God of War. That's headline news right there. It's going to get him clicks,
And the thing about it is that he puts that stuff in this description. So he's obviously knows he's being divisive on purpose. So it's like, I get it. That's your business now. But like, yeah, he should have. I actually did watch a little bit of his playthrough on the game. And I can understand the ideas that he was pushing. Like, I feel like it definitely does feel a bit foreign from what he created as a God of War title. But I think he could have been a lot more tactful about it because being a game developer himself, I still feel like there's some sort of tact that you use. You don't outwardly like. I work, me and Tony work in the industry.
Yeah.
I work as an illustrator. He works as a writer. You will never outright tell somebody, say another writer is absolutely fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. Like,
right?
Again, even when I'm on here shitting on Jason Schreier, I said I don't like him as a person, but I respect the writing. And I try to refrain from dunking on somebody else's work. Right, because to me even if I don't like the work, even if it's bad, I try not to do that. I may do it if it's called for, if it's something like that fucking DualShockers writer, that just went on Reddit and just spoiled the whole fucking game. I'll call that out because
that shit out,
yeah, because granted, that makes all of us look bad because now because of that stupid stunt. I think it was Konami, right? Because of that stupid stunt, even I got an email, when you're covering this game, make sure not to do this and that. I'm like, I know that. I've been doing this shit for 15 fucking years. But because some idiot decided to just spill the whole game, it was Silent Hill. Oh, I can talk about it. See, that type of shit I'll call out. But generally speaking, there's a lot of writers, websites I do not like. I'm not going to do it because it's bad. It's bad tactic.
I feel like if you're going to be doing constructive criticism, you just take a tactful look at it. Like, okay, I don't really fully understand what this is, but maybe if they did this, like, in other words, but Jaffe doesn't do that. Jaffe's like, why is this like that? Like, in other words, it's like why did they fucking do this? Like, dude, like, it's.
You're right, because he could have. Yeah, he could have criticized it without. You know what I'm saying? Without being like that.
Yeah, he could have been a little bit more better, but he's like, but again, and that sort of it fuels his audience and he gets some clicks. So it's like, I feel like it was a bad look.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. All right. Unless you guys want to say anything else on this, we could move on to the next question. Hey, look who joined us. Flash.
Flash.
He'll save every one of us. Flash. What's going on, Adam?
Oh, juice for Jesus. Juice for Jesus.
What's going on, man? That's perfect.
What's going on?
Good to see you, man. I guess you left the TV terminal, huh?
Can we just
you walked out. You left us for the day, right? You left the train station.
You're like,
oh, so that's a whole. There's a train now.
Oh, there's a train.
There's a train that runs through.
Oh
at
shit!
The intro, you see a full train, and we got
Adam got off the train.
You see that. You see the tiles now on the walls and stuff. It's crazy. I
sent a message to Adam like 4 days ago. I'm like, yo, how you doing? How's your day been? What you been up to? And he just sends me a YouTube short of his TV terminal. I'm like, wait, Adam, what's going on?
No, was it? When was it? No, we were talking.
No, I'm just joking.
You just got all the TV terminal, and you heard "Stand clear of the closing doors."
Yeah,
closing doors.
Yep.
All right, man. Go ahead.
We're on now, right?
We're live, baby. We're live.
Oh shit!
You dropped in right as I finished one question. I'm about to go to another. It was a good timing. Good timing. You didn't come into the middle of the question. You came in right as I finished one. All right, let's get into it. Next one, a Syrian Air Force. He goes, "Hey everyone, hope it was a great week for everyone." Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't talk about what I've been doing, but it was good. All right, first question from Mr. Assyrian Air Force. With Metal Gear Solid 4 finally coming to modern consoles, I'm shocked that it is coming to the original Switch, but not the PS4 or Xbox One as digital. Does that shock you too? I didn't know this. That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
It probably has to do with the fact that they were initially developing it for that.
For the Switch?
For the first Switch.
Yeah.
My guess is they'll probably I think they said that there would be enhanced Switch 2 things. There's actually a couple of games that have done that, where they've released the Switch version and then they've released like a kind of like upgrade fix or something like that for it to look better on the other one. So
yeah. This is just my speculation. I'm assuming it's because there's still a lot of people on Switch, and most there's a lot of people on the original Switch. Meanwhile, there's like nobody on the Xbox One, and all the PS4 people are probably on PS5. They're like, we're probably all right. That's what I probably think happens, because they don't have a lot of money to throw around, so they got to be very selective about which platforms they're going to put it on.
And the other thing about it is that last one, I think that got a PS4 release. That the Volume 1 collection got a PS4 release, as I remember.
So it was like that.
I remember.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
By the way, Kishak, Kishak, Manny can't help it, bro. It's his connection, because you're stuck, Manny. You've been on the same thing forever.
Am I at least doing a good face?
Kind of, but at least you sound good.
Yeah, you look enthused.
Yeah, he goes.
Oh, good.
He goes. Manny's just sitting there judging me.
It's funny because it looks fine on my side. I see myself moving and everything.
Nope, you've been stuck like that for like 5 minutes now. But yeah, Kishak, he can't help it.
I'm sorry about that.
But you listen. The audio is what counts, baby. So yes, that's my theory about Metal Gear Solid 4.
I think that's correct. I think they're not locking it down like they are with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S on the higher generations, the bigger the big boy consoles. But yeah, I think they're like, okay, we're gonna get it running on them, and we'll see how MGS4 runs on that Switch One. Man,
that'll be interesting.
Because I don't know what
gonna run.
I don't know what listen, if modern computers like modern PCs have issues running that game.
Wasn't it? Don't they have a problem running it because of the PS3 emulation?
Yeah, it has to do with PS3 emulation. We don't know. See, like they haven't actually gone into full detail as to how they gotten this to work. Is it an emulation or is it a port? If it's a port,
we don't know.
if it's a port, the situation might be a bit better. And I remember seeing an interview with Ryan Payton, who used to worked on this game. He said that there was an Xbox 360 version of this game that was worked on at the time.
Remember those memes? You know, it's like 50 discs and shit.
Yeah, they had it running on there, but yeah, because of that, because it would have been like a crazy amount of discs for that game. But if they if they've been able to go back and to look into that code and be able to sort of get everything running over, that'd be good. Or if they somehow got with this little where they literally just took over PlayStation's state of play and turned it into the Konami's state of play for like at least a good like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe they were able to get somebody like a Bluepoint to look at the damn thing, because they've been able to do some pretty damn decent ports.
Bluepoint, we got a question about them.
I mean, what is Bluepoint doing right now?
Spoiler, motherfucker. That's the question. That's literally the question we got. But we'll save that.
What
for
are they
later.
doing?
I have a question for Manny, actually, and it's related.
Yeah,
Manny, are you going for the platinum?
Well, originally I was so back in the ancient times, about 20 years ago, right? Is it 20 years ago? A little over.
It was about 20 years. It was like 18 years ago.
18 years ago.
That's
so
when this game came out.
There was a time when you could not earn trophies on the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
So both me and Tony did everything that would warrant us getting a platinum trophy for this game, but they didn't release that until like a year or two, like 2 years later.
It was longer than that, It
was a few years later, because it was about at the time that they closed down Metal Gear Online, and again they closed all that stuff off, and then they said we're adding trophies, and they were like, yes. Are they retroactive? No. So I only have like 2 trophies off from the beginning of the game. So, but yeah, I'll go for the platinum. But man, if they left those trophies the way they were, that shit is fucking difficult as fuck.
It is hard, man.
Because the way to get that trophy is like, okay, they give you them for completing chapters, but they also give you have to get the all of the sound, the different music for the iPod that's in the game. You have to collect all the songs for that thing, and a lot of them are locked behind higher rank playthroughs.
Yeah.
Of the game. So you have to get the Big Boss Extreme and you have to get the Foxhound rank in order to get these items.
Yeah. Again, man, I'm not doing that because I already did that shit and it was fucking crazy.
We did it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the game got trophies 4 years after the fact.
Yes, 4 years after the fact. So, yeah. So that's why we're like, man, we can't do that. And then for something similar happened in Peace Walker. So where me, Chris, and Tony were all playing Peace Walker at the same time, and we got everything in that fucking game. We were playing with that shit like on the PSP all the damn time. Like we hang out, or we have pull out, we
ad hoc,
get some
baby,
folders, do the ad hoc and all that shit. Yeah, so we were doing all that at the time, and then we pretty much got every single item that would warrant us getting a platinum trophy. When they released the HD remaster or the HD version of that game, they had the ability to transfer quote your save data over and play your game on the main console. But the caveat about that is that the trophies on that weren't retroactive either, and you had to have started your game on the PlayStation on the big boy console on the PlayStation 3 and then transfer it back to your Vita. Excuse me, not your Vita, or your Vita or your PSP, and then you would get the trophies that you've earned.
That's crazy.
Old day gaming.
Yeah, Big Boss emblem it's insane in general. Yeah, that was a wild one.
Oh no, it was a whole. It's funny. I don't think that one was. It was difficult, but the worst one was actually the one where we had to leave the console on. The chicken rank.
The chicken rank.
Where you had to like play it for like a month. So what did we do? We left the fucking PlayStations on.
That's it. Just left that shit on.
You sat Snake down in the lobby of that hotel that you get to, where you get Meryl and all of her group, the Foxhound group. You just sit Snake there for a little bit and a couple of nights, and then you get that long playtime.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get rid of that shit.
Remember, I had to do something like that for Rainbow Six,
Oh,
and
man.
it was called the rubber band trick, because the same thing is like they realized that the ranking was based off of playtime,
Yeah.
not so much of what you were doing. So it was like, oh, okay, so then we would just put a rubber band around the thumbstick and around one of them, and then just prop it up on the side,
That's
and I'll
it.
go to sleep. And then my guys just like in a lobby just twirling in the air with a bunch of other fools, and then I wake up. Next, you know, I ranked up like 4 levels and stuff, and all these chivos and stuff were popping and levels. So there's always a boost, right? There's always a way to boost.
Or Tony's big one, where he literally had to keep his PlayStation on because of the for Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah, because basically the trophy
The
is only
hours.
one. It's only one trophy, right? No, it wasn't hours. It was because of a glitch. You know, because what happened was, you get a trophy for completing every single mode in online. Now on the 360, you complete a couple of modes. You know, turn it off, go about your day, come back, do a couple more modes. On PlayStation, if you log off, all your progress gets reset, right? So for like 3 days straight, me and this dude from Germany were just like going back and forth. Because remember, you know, we had to do everything double, right? I get one and then he gets one. So we did this for like 3 days, kept my fucking PlayStation on, because if I turn it off, all that progress would be eliminated. I had a fucking checklist and shit. Like, it was called off. It's funny, right? I'm doing this with a German guy, and the name of the trophy is Auf Wiedersehen Petrovich, which is hilarious.
Have you
you know?
have you looked it up to see like the percentage? You know, when it tells you like rare.
I haven't looked it up, but it's rare as fuck.
It
You know,
has
That's a
to
rare
be.
one, yeah.
hey, Manny's back. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah,
I
the
did one
things
on
we
it
did
too.
for platinums back in the day, people.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
There was a trophy. I remember doing one for Grand Theft Auto 5 where what was it? You had to stay out. There was 2 of those. One in Grand Theft Auto 4, you had to stay out with a 4-star wanted rating for a
Yeah.
certain amount of time. And then there was one for hours. I remember in 5, I had to stay out active. I just remember hiding somewhere for a long time
That's
and
it.
just leaving it there for it to get that in-game time.
It's crazy, man. All right.
What the hell's wrong with why do we do that?
So, yeah,
Why do
we're
we do
crazy. I don't know. I wouldn't do shit like that anymore, man. But back in the day, the trophies. You're like, fuck, trophies.
It was
son.
new. You know,
It
people
was, yeah.
watching it. It was a race. Who's going to get to 50? Who's going to do that? Who's going?
I didn't give a fuck about that. I'm like, oh, I get to catalog my shit finally. You know?
Well, yeah. I don't know. We don't know any young kids. I don't know anybody that's in that group that are doing this. I don't know anyone. I mean, my kids, they're young. They don't care. It's Fortnite and all that. They don't give a shit. But is there anyone in the chat? Anybody know that people in the teens, you know, in that range, are they trophy hunting? Are they doing that whole
Motherfuckers don't even
hunting?
play video games, man. You
I know that's it. They don't.
They don't play video games.
And I was just thinking about that earlier today too, because I was like, it's going full circle. It's becoming a niche thing again, and it can't, because when you got games that cost over $100 million to produce, you can't be niche. You have to be mainstream. You have to be hitting it. If not, you start closing up shop, like we're seeing.
You know. Anyway, next question from Mr. Syrian Air Force. With games like 007 and John Wick coming soon, when do you expect any announcements about Uncharted? Who knows?
I mean, that all depends on what Santa Monica Studio is doing.
Yeah,
Wasn't there a rumor they're working on a new IP?
I have no idea.
Oh wait, they're saying that they say that Santa Monica's working on the new God of War game. I don't think they are. I think it's another studio that's working on those remasters. I have a theory. I'll tell you a theory. I'll tell you that theory when that question comes up.
Yeah. The question's fine. It's just too speculative. So I don't know.
Well, you guys, I know you guys talked about it. Are you hyped for this remake? I mean, we had one already.
Wait, for which one?
When they did for the God of War ones. Remember when they said
I'm cautiously optimistic. Well, not even cautious. I'm not cautious. I'm cautious. Period. Because it depends on what kind of remake we're getting, right? If we're getting a Shadow of the Colossus style remake, where the main
Souls.
let me finish. When we get that type of remake where it's just the main game you remember, just with nicer graphics, give me that shit, right? But if it's a Resident Evil type of remake, right, that could be a problem because I already see the first thing they're going to get rid of. They're going to get rid of those sex scenes. You know, the mini games. You know they're getting rid of that shit real quick.
I almost feel like those things are just going to get removed in general from this release.
That would cause a lot of outrage, you know.
Even if it is just they essentially did like what Shadow of the Colossus did, or what Metal Gear Solid Delta is doing, or whatever Demon Souls was, where essentially it's the real original game just with a really nice graphical upgrade on top of it. So I don't know, especially with the way Sony is these days about that stuff.
It'll be interesting.
I don't know.
Man, there was only one thing that got me excited when I saw this. And I looked in my bag and I was like, it's for you, baby. It's for you, the Steam Deck. Can we get this collection on PC? Can we get it on Steam? That's all I cared about. Because I already have it on a PlayStation.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. We don't even know when the hell this thing's coming. You know,
we don't know when it's going to be. It's going to be. It's going to be developed.
When they had the original voice from the God of War doing that, I was like, oh, I guess they're going to be. Yeah, I guess they're just going to do a lot of re-audio work and stuff. So
it could be it could be a big. But the thing is, if they're doing a whole trilogy, it would be more cost efficient for them to just give it a reskin, right? But if they're doing like the full on remake, that's going to be a long time per each game.
Yeah.
Like remember, they didn't say it's going to be one collection. They just said the God of War trilogy.
Trilogy.
They could be pulling a Final Fantasy remake here.
I don't. To be honest, I feel like the most cost effective way to do this and would get these things a lot faster is the Shadow of the Colossus.
That's what I want them to do, but who knows?
Or the Delta route, where in other words you spend, you get the game running on that thing, and then you're just essentially hijacking the visuals with another engine.
But again, there's too many questions about the remake. We don't know what it is. We don't know the form. Go ahead, Rich. Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
I was just gonna say, Tony. So no bros before hoes trophies.
No,
notice Ascension wasn't put in there, right?
Yeah, it's just a trilogy. It's just a trilogy. Nobody wants to enter that trash.
Nobody wants God of War Ascension. That game has not gotten a release on the modern console on the 4, right?
Because nobody.
So
wants
they released all the other ones. They released the main trilogy and the two Vita games. But they never touched God of War Ascension.
Yeah,
it's the origins of the Batman games. You know what I mean? It's like what they don't talk about.
Yeah, it's the Arkham origins.
Yeah, it's the Arkham. Yes.
I think we know it exists. It's just let's not talk about it.
Kid Shack goes, are they just going to drop 3 games on the same day? Again, we don't know that. We don't know if it's like the trilogy, quote unquote trilogy in one collection, or the trilogy that you're going to get over multiple years. We have no idea.
I mean, I would, again, the speculation, I would assume if they're saying God of War trilogy, that means they're going to drop 3 fucking games.
They are, but we don't know that we're going to drop them at the same time. Right? Remember, they said Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy 2, So
it's not going to be a collection like they did with
no, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying we don't know. I'm saying it's either going to be a collection or it's going to be separate games. We have no idea. And that's why I don't want to speculate on what it will be. I'm just saying these are the possibilities, So we'll see. Because we don't know. This shit could be a PS6 fucking game for all we know. Like, I don't even think they're deep in development. It's just
they just said
announced.
They just said we're currently working on this. It's very early.
Yeah.
So like, how long is that going to be? Are we talking within this generation? We're talking, or are we talking not. Like, hey, listen, PS6 era?
Yeah. Go ahead, Rich.
I don't think it's this generation. This is PS6 game at the earliest. And Manny made the comment earlier. Yeah, so Santa Monica are working. Game they just haven't announced what it is yet. I don't know what it is.
And I don't think that they're working on this. I think it's somebody else, just like the little 2D game. Again,
Kishak, that's
we
just
have-
us
we have a
speculating. We
question
don't
for that,
know.
though.
Yeah, that's just us
Yeah, we don't.
speculating that it's a PS6 launch.
It's a
game.
speculation.
I don't know. Who knows? We have
don't know,
so
but, yeah.
little information on this, bro.
Yeah. And they never elaborated on the PlayStation blog either.
Nope, they didn't. If they were smart, they would just reskin the old games. They could get it out this generation. But I fear that they're going to go the big crazy route. But we'll see.
Yeah, like
man.
would they take that aspect of the because you do have those things in the what is it, the Norse Elegy. They do have those specific weapons in there. Now, would it be a game like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally think that they should keep them as is. Keep those games as the way they were, and then what you do is you just equalize the controls between them. So, in other words, if you're playing 1, 2, or 3, the way Kratos moves, probably take most of 3, but the way Kratos moves should feel consistent between those 3 games.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will.
That's what
No matter what it is, it's probably going to be consistent. Kishak goes, would the fans be upset if they didn't go all the way for the remake? What do you mean by all the way?
I don't know. I mean, like,
I know what he means.
Yeah. Like, do you mean all the way as in just give us the old games remade, or Final Fantasy? I think you mean that one, don't you? Like, we're just getting
No.
top bottom. I don't know.
I mean, what
Like,
you
he says, like Final
you-
Fantasy. He goes, if they don't do it like Final Fantasy remake, would fans be upset? Some
I
of them
don't
might
think so,
be,
because
maybe some of them.
I don't. I mean, here's the thing. Like, you look at similar situations, right? Where they say where you have Metal Gear Solid Delta. Metal Gear Solid Delta is literally, Metal Gear Solid 3 with just really nice looking graphics on top of it.
Yeah,
Same thing with Demon Souls that this generation started with. It's literally that original game,
Yeah.
with some with nicer graphics and current bits of things, but it's by the numbers the same.
Adam, what do you have
type
in the
of game.
background? I hear something.
Something?
Yeah. Oh man.
Watching videos.
Again, we'll have to see. It's too early right now. All right, moving on here. Our intrepid friend, Mr. Romudeath, is covering an extra Syrian Air Force question. And
Whoa!
Manny, you already hinted at this. The hell is Bluepoint up to?
This is where my speculation comes in.
Uh-oh.
I think they're working on God of War trilogy.
Oh.
I think the everything seems to line up around this. They just had a God of War game, multiplayer game, canceled. We don't know what it was going to be. We don't know if it was going to be the Norse, era, or classic Kratos era, with the Greece era, but the Greek era. I think that's what they're doing. I think that's what's happening. I think they said, you don't have a company like Bluepoint around, which they, when again, they began this generation with Demon Souls, which was an incredibly faithful remake of that game with all the original bells and whistles left in it. So why not give them that chance to essentially develop 3 God of War games and they have an intimate knowledge of those original games because they made them all previously. Same thing. They did the same thing with Shadow of the Colossus as well. So I think that's what the God of War trilogy will be. I think it will be Bluepoint essentially going in and doing the voodoo that they do, and keeping the game as they originally were, but doing all the other work on top of it to make it look really nice for modern audiences.
Kishak says, is Sony Santa Monica making the remake? We don't know.
I don't
They're
think
publishing
they are,
it.
because
They're publishing it.
they're publishing it. Yeah, but I don't think that they are. Because again, I think they're working on something. How is it that they can work on another game and then develop a remake? I don't think they have the staff for that. I think they probably keep them on whatever they're working on, and then they just oversee whatever Bluepoint's doing. Like, oh, hey, that Kratos don't look that great, like stuff like that. They do make those notes on top of it, but I think there's another studio, just like the way the Sons of Sparta was not developed by Santa Monica Studio, but it was published by them.
They published it, yeah. I will say this, because again, Manny's just speculating, but I pray to Zeus. I pray to Zeus that's what happens. You know, like if Bluepoint's working on this trilogy and it's like just basically the old games, just nicer. Oh, that's what I would hope. My fear is that it's not going to be that, but we'll see about that. But it makes sense, right? They were working on a God of War multiplayer game. The last big game they actually worked on was God of War Ragnarok. They already got their hands in there, you know. It would make sense. I pray to all the Olympian gods, bruh, and the Egyptians ones too. Let's get them all in there. The Norse ones. I'm praying to all the deities right now. I hope you're right, Manny, but we'll see. You know. Any thoughts on Bluepoint from the rest of you guys? I'm gonna take that as a no.
I was just.
Oh, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I just was gonna say. I also think that Manny made a good point. You said exactly what I was going to say, Tony, that they did do some work on Ragnarok. Yep. So hopefully that is the case, because they haven't done anything since Demon Souls. So yeah.
Yeah, because if we get the proper God of War trilogy with Ragnarok graphics, let's fucking go. You know, that'd be awesome. But yeah, we'll see. Again, we don't have enough information right now. Hold on real quick. Shout out to the homie Dio. He's joining us. He says, hello, fellas. Watching y'all live while I head to work. Also, winter is coming again. It's snowing hard in Brooklyn. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, snowing?
Today.
Some bullshit, yeah. Mr. Davis. The shit finally started melting around here, you know? It melted enough where they were finally able to pick up the garbage.
Well, you know what? That's the funny thing. The big news outside of New York was that, oh, look at all the garbage. That place has always been.
That's how it is after winter, man.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I told them. I was telling people, like, oh, things are crazy. It's always been like that. It's like you get all the garbage, and then the snow, and then the sanitation pushes all the snow on the sides, and then it cakes in all the cars and the garbage, and then they can't come and pick shit up.
Yeah, and then add to that, we had 2 weeks straight where the temperatures were below 32, right? So it's freezing. The shit cannot melt, you know? So all that shit I saw out there, I'm like, yep, typical New York. I was not surprised by any of this shit. You know, I leave my apartment, literally there's a wall of fucking garbage right there. I'm like, yep. That's just how it is, you know, because we haven't had persistent cold like this for over 10 years. It's been a long time.
So did you have trouble like getting around?
I didn't leave. I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. You know, I couldn't leave for a week. I was stuck here. You know, I work from home, obviously. I was finally able to leave last week when some of it melted. And even then, I picked my days because it's still annoying. Like the main way that I get to work, it's completely iced over. So I have to go like a little bit of an alternate way, which is not as easy, you know? But yeah, so I'm hoping, because right now I have my curtain down, you know, because of the show, but I see, it looks like it's raindrops on my window. I hope it's just rains and shit, not snow. We don't need any more of that shit, man. I'm done. You know, this winter's been crazy. Yeah, Adam, this is how bad it's gotten. When I saw last week that the high temperature was 32, I was like, let's fucking go. It's spring. Because it's been like 17. Yo, there was one. Did you see that fucking mess I sent Adam? 2 degrees. You know, I'm like, bruh. So when it got to 25 one day, I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. 25, bruh. When literally last month in December or whatever the fuck it was, when it was 25 degrees, I'm like, I'm not leaving the fucking apartment. Now I'm like, 25, let's go. This is beautiful. You know, because you've had so many days of pure cold. Anyway, Barry Burton does rest in peace to Hideki Sato. Yeah, shout out to him. I'll drop that question in later. Thank you for that. This is a good question. I'm glad I'm here for this one. Let's go. All right. Anyway, next question here. George W. Cush, what's going on, brother? He goes, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. So real quick, he did ask us a tabletop gaming question. That's out of our scope here. But I did add it to leftover questions. It sounds like something good for an AMA. Because what he asks is pretty evergreen. So I'll leave it there. We'll get to that, but this is a video game podcast, not a gaming podcast. But we will get to that question, in due time. So anyway, his gaming question is: we all said many times that we think the future of gaming is doomed, but what would be the scenario of a perfect next generation look like for you? Adam, since you haven't been for a while, like what would be like the ideal next generation for you that would make you like happy?
It has to wow me. We need to be wowed like we were
What will
early
wow
on.
you?
I remember that always comes up Dead Rising, seeing all those zombies. Remember? I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. Are we going to see games like this? Just mass hysteria in the street, or play a Grand Theft Auto where the streets look packed and there's cars and it's alive. And we've seen that. We've seen that. I don't know what can really, and it's not realism. I don't want realistic.
Yeah, I think we're done with that.
I'm done with that. I don't need that. If we go any further, we've gone to the FMV ones,
Yeah.
Just do that. Just strap on freaking headset on an actor and be like, all right, we're gonna play like this. I don't know where we can go from here. Just make things look a little more smoother, but not so smooth, because we're seeing now people fighting it with TVs. They're trying to downgrade their TVs because like things are too sharp. It's ruining movies for people.
Shit.
Especially movies with special effects and stuff, and you put the extra sharp and you got the 4K and all that, you could see the fakeness, oh, I see Hollywood. And people don't want that. They want the disbelief. Because remember, people forget, when we watch movies, we're watching that film, that filter that we say, oh, that's a movie.
Yeah.
That's the Hollywood filter that they put on. If they don't put that on, it looks like your home videos. It looks like the way like you would do with your phone or something. So we want that. So if things are too real, then it's not going to work. So just keep it smooth, keep it simple. Don't overpack things. Right now, the industry's getting desperate, and that's why they're throwing all these microtransactions. They're trying to milk and dime you.
Yeah.
Rich and I were goofing over the week. It's like WWE has like 8 different versions of one game coming out. It's like, and they're just adding DLC to each one, but it's DLC that was already in the previous game as free. It's like, oh, you're gonna get this guy, and you're gonna get a variant of this one. I was like, well, he was already in the other one. What are you doing? And then you're charging extra $20 to have that variant that was free in the last one. It's too much, and this is what they're trying to do. Or all the card games, and everyone's trying to add like 5 or 6 different ways to tip you upside down and shake you. And then that's not the way it's gonna work. And people are voting with their wallets right now, and they're fed up. And then to add that the prices of games have gone up.
Yep.
And then they have the nerve to say, well, yeah, we're just keeping up with the times. No. Because if you want to keep up with the times, if you want to do like Fortnite's free. Yeah. And then they tip you upside down. They don't say, hey, we need the 70, 80, 100, 200, and then we're going to tip you on top of that. There's a difference. And they don't seem to get it. I mean, we see with streaming services also doing the same shit. That more you always hear, oh, another 2 million people left Disney, and then they're gonna jack up the price to compensate for the loss. That's not gonna work, because then those people that are sticking around that would pay those extra, but like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to pay this $15 anymore. And then it's gonna get worse and worse, and start closing up shop. And I think make things simpler, keep things to. It sounds wrong, but it's like stick in your lane with a lot of things.
Yeah.
If you're good at a certain type of game, you make a lot of good beat 'em ups, and you're like, well, maybe we should branch out and do an RPG or open world. No, let's not do that. Do what keeps making you money, and then keep that money and invest in other projects to keep going in that direction. Don't start putting all this money in big open world games or these free to play, not the free to play, but the what's it called? The one that
service.
Games as a service. Yeah, there you go. The games as a service. Just too much of that. And I think they're never going to stop, because they keep seeing the ones that have succeeded and be like, damn, we have to do it. They're going to keep reaching for that ring. They're going to keep doing it, and then everyone else is going to pay for it. Studios are going to close. Consumers are going to be unhappy because they're like, my favorite studio, whatever studio was working on this game forever, and it came out and it was booty ass, and then now I didn't get to all the other games that I wanted. And then what do? They're like, oh, we're just going to go and do some remakes. Hey, God of War trilogy coming, sucker bitches. I'm like, yes, can't wait. Really? Yeah, I can't wait. Because if I want to really play it, I can. and they look pretty damn good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like, oh damn, these are PlayStation 1, 2 games. They upgraded those. It's available right now. You can do that. So yeah, the Final Fantasy, you brought that up. I keep forgetting they're not done with that shit. You know, I was like, yo, that's still going on. And that was announced a long time
They're
ago.
working on disc 3.
Oh, Molly. Yeah, you know, it's just so they need to really just take a step back and be like, you know what? The audience has changed. The people have changed. The kids today, what they're playing and how they consume content, everything has changed. Kids don't watch cartoons anymore, man.
Yeah,
Think
they
about
don't.
that.
Yep.
That's a whole other. You know, I'm still watching Thundercats and G.I. Joe. My son's looking at me like I got 3 heads. He's like, what is wrong with you? Why do you watch all this old stuff? He told me that the other day. He just like, as if like I was getting counseling. He just like looked over me in my recliner, all crouched up back. I'm staring. I'm like, what are you looking at? And he's like, why do you watch this old stuff?
Because it makes
What
me
is this
feel
Star
good.
Trek
That's
Voyager?
why, man.
Yeah. He's like, what is Star Trek Voyager and why does it look like it didn't even take up the whole screen, Dad? You know it doesn't even. It's like what is this? He's making he doesn't even know.
Yeah, he doesn't know
Because of the
4x3.
ratio.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't know the 4x3. I was like, well, that's the way TV. He was like, come on, man. Well, he's looking at me in disappointment over my consuming of entertainment. But that's the whole thing with the games and all the games. He plays on the Steam Deck now. I got him onto the PC thing. He's limited, but he's playing all these like different types of like from point and clicks and then what is it? There was like a supermarket simulator and he's playing some poly bridge. He's playing all these weird. I'm like, I don't even know what games you're making. You're making up shit. I don't know
You're
these
making
games.
stuff up.
You know, yeah, he's like, oh no, look at all these games. He's always asking for another weird ass game never heard of. And then I'm like, hey, why don't you play Dad of War? Why don't you play this? I got him to play Black Flag for a little bit because he likes pirates.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh wow, this is fun. I'll come back to this. Never went back to it.
Damn.
You know, I'm like, this. You weren't amazed by this? You pirate got the out. Yeah. You know,
It's like games are long.
that's the other thing. Games are long. Their attention span is like the tip of a pinky.
Yeah.
For everything. We see this with the Doom Scrolls, with all that, and that applies also for games. You know, they need things that are quick and short and free. You know, and if you're not in those 3 categories, it's not going to happen. So to make these 100-hour games, and that was always to appease the people that bitch that they added the time spent with the value, which made no damn sense. If a game is solid and it's good, you know, I don't care if it's only 10 hours. That's fine. I don't need 100-some hours when I know I'm not going to do it. And we know, Tony, we talked about this many. We all when we look at the trophies and we look at the list, bitches aren't even making it level 4.
They don't.
And these are the same complaining. Oh, this game was only 80 hours.
Like, bitch, you only played 20 hours. What the fuck?
Exactly. Not even a 1% beat this damn game. You know what I mean? We see it all the time. Stop bitching. And I think that also hurt. That hurt the industry because everyone's like, oh, well, we got to make this. We got to throw all these games that don't need multiplayer. Fucking put it in there.
Yeah.
Put it in there. So then you're adding the time for production. You're adding added cost for a mode that nobody wants to play. And then when it does come out and no one plays it, then there's layoffs. And then they're like, oh, what happened? This is what you wanted. There was a small group of people that wanted that shit, and they just want everything. There's always those that want everything. They want every damn mode in the game. They want to. Remember, Battle Royale was taken off. Every fucking game had to have a Battle Royale. Oh, you gotta have one. You gotta have it. Just like every game has to have a multiplayer. Gotta have the shooter. You gotta have that whole thing. Remember, Assassin's Creed tried to do it for a while.
Yeah, I remember it. There was that era of what do they call it? Forced multiplayer. You know,
Forced multiplayer.
Yeah.
Uncharted had that bullshit.
Tomb Raider. What the fuck was Tomb Raider doing with a multiplayer? Dead Space, Mass Effect, fucking Uncharted. None of these games needed a multiplayer, bro. You know?
Didn't need it. Didn't need it. And I think that's it. To go back to the question, they just need to reevaluate and say, all right, let's what got us to the dance? What games do people like? What do they still want? You know, oh, they want another pirate game. Let's just keep making more damn pirates. They got tired of walking around the open world with the bullshit. Yeah, we fucked up. We killed Desmond off camera. I could say, remember he died.
Yeah,
Wasn't
he
even
died.
in the game. It's just like, oh, he died. And what are you doing? You built up multiple games. He was the basis of this whole story. I wanted to see what happened. I thought we were going to get into the future with him. They just killed him off. I'm like, nah, not happening. Then why the hell am I walking around? Why am I doing this? I don't care.
Slight side note on that. I heard that re-release of re-release of Black Flag there's rumors of that re-release of Black
They're gonna
Flag
take
coming,
it out.
and they're gonna take out the stupid like first person stuff.
Oh yeah,
Not needed.
stupid. Yeah.
Even when with that game, when my son, like I said, I had him playing some of it. He got to that part and he was like, "What is this? Why did?" I was like, "You don't have to do it. Why do I have to? You don't. Just get back in the chair and just keep playing. You don't have to do it until it forces you later on to do it. You don't ever have to get onto it. It's dumb."
Yeah. So that's everything you said is pretty much kind of what I wanted to say. It's like what would actually get me excited about like next gen. I'm gonna read this tweet, right? And it touches on what you said, and it goes to with the point I'm about to make. Young gamers in Japan may not be forming the same attachment to Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest because modern development cycles are as long as their childhood. Yes, right? Back in the day, you get a Dragon Quest game every fucking year. Final Fantasy every year or every other year, right? When we were kids, we had a bunch of Final Fantasy games drop, right? Now we get one Final Fantasy game a generation if you're lucky. You know, same thing with Dragon Quest. You get one of those motherfuckers if you're lucky, right? So what I want is for these development cycles to scale the fuck back down. Not every game needs to be $300 million. Not every game needs to be 100 fucking hours long. Like you said, Adam, focus on the shit that works. You don't need to make every game everything, right? Not every game needs to be open world. Not every game needs to be multiplayer. Not every game needs to have 5,000 fucking hours. Not every game needs microtransactions. We don't need all this bullshit. Stick to the core thing, drop the budgets down, bring these development cycles down because it's just too fucking much. If you do that, go ahead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you do that, man, then I'll be excited. It's like, why are we waiting so fucking long for these games? And now we're at the point where, what are you getting? Remakes. Why are you getting remakes? Because they don't have enough time to make new shit. You know?
Yeah.
It's fucking upsetting. And here's the thing. Everything I just said is not going to fucking happen. None of it's going to happen. These idiots are going to keep going the same way they've always been going, and gaming is just going to fucking crash. And you know what? I hope it does, because maybe they'll learn the fucking lesson, build it back up, and we'll get something good like we used to. Remember, the video game crash of 1983, what did it lead to? Fucking Nintendo taking over and making the game industry what it is now. If we get something like that, that's fine. Basically, let the fucking forest burn so it grows back into something better. I'm down with that. So... Don't stop. Don't get me started, motherfucker.
And even Nintendo's feeling it. They're feeling it now too. It's like they're all feeling it. It's just not. There's no excitement. That excitement, we've had it. We've had some amazing
games. Take too long to fucking make, man. And everybody praises the fuck out of Expedition 33. All the smaller game 33 developers. It took 5 fucking years. You know, so even a game like that takes forever.
4 to 5.
Yeah, so it's even like that. It's like because people, indie games, they can pump about in 2 years. No, they fucking can't. You know. No. So these development cycles need to calm the fuck down.
The games, if you started making,
even said that. Remember with me
Yep.
If you started making like games like the way they used to be made, like if you were making a PlayStation era, like PlayStation 3 era type game, you would probably it'd take nearly as long as it would be to do a modern game. But then again, it's a different world. So,
it's a different world.
Everybody again. I think you're not only battling the you're battling the expectation of the greater zeitgeist. What people think a game should be, right? Yeah. So that's why every game ended up having a bunch of open world bullshit in it. That's why, we lived through, and our podcast has been around through that shift.
Yep.
Well, like, I guess one of the better examples is the Order 1886. What were the 2 complaints that people had about that game? Too short. Yeah. Not enough variety.
And ironically,
talking about the rapper.
Yeah, right. And now we're hearing about the 2D God of War game. Oh, it's too short. That's another complaint about it.
Too short. I mean, it's as long as whatever a thing one of those Metroidvania games are. That's fine. But whatever.
This is how people
are.
This
is also one of and this all goes back to the whole pricing model. It's they should have had different prices.
Yeah.
How many people? And then also, how many people are gonna get the completion trophy in that fucking game? It sounds like it's just a bunch of people who ain't playing it.
It is
just
because the game just
complaining
dropped
about playing.
fucking Thursday night. You beat it since Thursday. No, you fucking didn't. You know, Adam. Let's look at those trophies. Let's look at those fucking trophies.
But I mean, like, that's also like, that's like an old school sort of game length. Like, I mean, what is it? I don't know how long it is. It's not like an 8-hour game at all, right?
No, it's probably longer. That is a Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I disagree with that statement. He goes, AI is the only way to do this. That's going to make things
really.
Yeah, no.
No, unless you want a garbage game. I mean, there's plenty of those games that you could be playing that are running commercials right now.
But we'll get to that question later unless Brett shows up.
They needed to they were avoiding it, but they should have taken a step, an approach of like how the book industry did it. The book industry, it's like, yeah, we got tons of books, but when you walk in, you don't see one price for all the books the same. You know what I mean? Change things up. So then now it's like, hey, we put a lot of time, we put in all these other modes. This is this price. We didn't put in all this stuff. Don't bitch saying that it doesn't have 80 hours. Okay, this is how we could make a good profit. And this, and no, they wanted to do the 60 across the board forever. Then they're like, oh, we're going to do 70. And then what are you going to get? You're going to people judging about everything. Oh, it needs to be this. I need to have that. Well, they add it and they break the game, or they go to say they're going to add it and then it takes too long. Next, the game comes out. The kids that like the previous one already aged out, don't even care about the series anymore. It's like, just stop. Just streamline it. Make it simple. Do some focus groups with your audience of what they really like to play. I thought that was the whole point of Chivos and trophies, because it's like, yeah, it's great for us for milestones and catalog, but it's also for the developers to see what modes people are playing, how far are they getting in campaigns and stuff. I mean, that was Activision's whole bullshit about, this is why we're thinking about cutting the campaigns out of Call of Duty when they screwed up that one year and they were like, they didn't have one, but they're like, oh, well, we looked at the numbers and stats and people don't really even put that much time into it. So what's the point? And I was like, well, then we know there's bullshit, because then the next year and ever since then, they've always had a campaign. Whether it's like people bitch about 7-8 hours, how much time do you really want to put into it? You know what I mean? Do you want a 100-hour Call of Duty campaign? No, I don't need that. You run, you go, you shoot. It's always the same thing. You either fly, you do some water, you do some stealth, and then you call it a day. And then you jump into multiplayer and you shoot some other bitches in the face.
Yeah, let's get some of the other guys in here. Go ahead, Carlos.
I feel like, and this is sort of ties into the overarching point that I think I bring up almost every week. I feel like games are only as good as the creatives who make it. And as far as we've gotten from our previous generations to present time, I just feel like there's less and less creatives in this world. At least prominent creatives. There's not that many as there used to be. I feel like there's a lot of folks in today's age that and there's less, and maybe some of the creative people here can correct me, but I feel like less and less people are going into creative fields these days. And it's more of like,
and the ones that are going in are not as talented as the ones we used to have, so double whammy.
I would disagree with that, but I'll let you go.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah, I feel like most people want to be a streamer. They want to be a YouTuber, and there's creative people in YouTube as well. So, but I feel like most folks growing up or coming into prominence aren't doing it in the way that they used to be, in a sense where making a game was something that was looked up to be like to do, and I don't feel like that's the case anymore. It's more of like all the corporations are creating games, and they're doing it by committee instead of back in the day where there was a whole bunch of creatives and they all had their a game that came out, and there was a lot of failures because games weren't all successes back in the day, but out of the thousands of games that would come out, there was always a lot other a good chunk of them that were actually great and innovative and that move the medium forward. And these days it's like, where's this where's this hero shooter that we're releasing this? We got like 12 hero shooters or 12 games as a service that we're in the pipeline. The only creatives, for example, with Sony, the only creatives are, ironically, are probably the ones that some of the panelists here hate, like Neil Druckmann. I feel like he's a creative. Whether you like him or not is a separate topic. But I feel like the way that he runs things, I feel like is a lot better than the way a lot of other companies run things. Even though the games might not be the cup of tea of some folks, but at least I understand what he's trying to do, and it's sort of like a direction that he's trying to go, and but there's less and less of that.
Okay, hold on. I got to step back a little bit. What do you mean by creative, right? Because are you talking about it as an individual that runs a game studio, or are you talking about a person that creates video games? Because you're thinking. I was taking it as a person that works in a video game. It could just be a low-level staffer. There's a different. So like,
no. At the top.
Okay,
okay.
So I retract my previous statement then, because I thought you were talking about as a whole,
No.
Yeah.
To clarify, there's a ton of creative people that work on video games, but what I'm leaning towards is like the people at the top that get to create and give the overarching direction of video games. I feel like those are the folks that aren't as creative, and it's mostly like most of the PlayStation games that come out, a lot of the remasters, it's like those are the games that are getting created. It doesn't take that much creative to do a God of War trilogy remake, at least from the Inception phase.
Are you saying? And I'm getting stuck on these particulars here. Are you saying there's less like creative people running game studios? Because I would disagree with that. Like, you need a creative person at the top to run things. Or are you talking about we don't have as many divas like Kojima and shit and Cliff Blazinski?
Well, that's also true. But what I'm leaning towards is when games are created, they're not creative. The creative aspect of the video game is not at the forefront. It's not someone's vision,
money, right?
It's about the money. Mostly, it's about the money.
I got you. Okay, I see where you're going now. It's not about delivering a specific vision. It's about how much money can we make off this shit.
But the thing about it is that is when the studio gets involved. When these budgets start getting so extreme, that's when the big boys come in and say, you need to do this, and this, because we're spending all this money on you for this thing. That's why a lot of those classic previous titles, when we're talking about PlayStation, and a lot of them is because they weren't spending a huge amount of money to put out a Crash Bandicoot or a Metal Gear Solid. They were, granted those things took a few years to make, but they weren't spending the money that they could do, they were doing to do that. So that's why you could have crazy things and, throw shit at a wall and see what sticks, because, hey, you didn't spend a lot of money to do it. You just like, all right, boom, that one worked. Yeah. All right, let's keep going with that one. So I don't think it's a lack of creativity thing. I think it's a lack of trusting a creative person to do their job. I think it's because again, the producer. We've seen this happen with movies all the damn time. It's like, hey, let's make Spider-Man 1 and 2 did great. Spider-Man 3, but this one's got to have Venom in it, and you're gonna get a better budget. It's the Avi Arad situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as these things start to make some serious money, that's when a guy who's just looking at how much this shit cost, how much money you made, comes in, hey, we're going to give you more money, but you got to make sure this thing does really well. So you're going to have all these things. You're going to put an online mode in there. You're going to put this multiplayer mode in there because we got to guarantee that this thing's going to be a success.
Yeah. Sounds to me like you and Carlos agree then,
Yeah. I don't believe it's a creativity thing, because industry, as somebody who's worked in this industry, there's no shortage there's no shortage of people, of creative people that are out there. In fact, it's incredibly. It's a small hole with everybody trying to jam themselves into the same one.
Yeah, Manny, Expedition 33. Those motherfuckers said, you know what? We don't want to work under these constrictions anymore. We're leaving, and look what happened. You know, that proves both of your points right there. You know,
those guys will, like, you know, there's actually a really good documentary on them that's online, and they just talked about how, like, they were working in the industry, and the guy was working on, I can't remember what RPG it was. He was working for an RPG that got turned into a mobile game. And he's like, it was something he really wanted to do, work in RPGs, but they weren't even making those games anymore. They were like, it's just a free to play RPG. Just, you know, you're stewarding this thing, but we don't really give a shit about it. So I think it's like, I think it's about that. And then for them, it's like making something attractive enough to at least try to get people involved, you know, to want to invest in it. And I think that their thing was one of the things that sort of got through. I'm not going to say it, but again, like, getting to that point, and, you know, this is, you know, it's the rags to riches story. People love that stuff. But how many other companies have had similar sort of ideas? We hear this thing about Expedition 33 saying that it brought back turn-based RPGs. Turn-based RPGs have not gone
they
fucking
never went
anywhere.
away.
In fact, Persona won a Game Award a few times in a row. The only reason why it's being seen as this is because it's the underdog, and people love underdog stories. But it's not like they weren't doing anything that Japan hadn't been doing for years.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Brian, what do you say, man? Mr. Manjoma.
What do I say to what?
What would actually get you excited about next gen? Anything that comes to mind?
It'll need to have a strong launch, because I feel like these gen, they don't really launch strong. They just kind of launch on a whimper. So I'm talking about 3-4 exclusives day one. I know that's unrealistic, but again, the question is, what will get you excited? Yep. And these exclusives can't all be the same game. So it can't be 3 flavors of Uncharted. It needs to be, okay, we have first-person story shooter like Killzone. Dear God, Killzone. we have Killzone-esque game on launch. We have an actual RPG game, not Horizon. I'm talking about like Final Fantasy type RPG game on launch. Or Dragon's Dogma type RPG game on launch. We have some racing game on launch. And voila, we have a bunch of different games, different flavors that show you what this console is about on launch. And then to be generous, given I know that things are expensive, one quality exclusive every year that's different. And almost no remakes and remasters. That would get me excited.
There you go. I like that answer. That's a good one. What about you, Rich? What would actually get you excited for next gen? Anything that comes to mind?
Other than Concord 2.
You know?
No, I would say there's been a lot of good points made. I mean, I say, just release some great games. No fluff. No high guard, please. No thank you. No thank you. Microtransactions, no. And as Adam already pointed out, all the controversy about the WWE game, I don't want to see any of that in future games. But stuff like that I would be definitely happy to see. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, man. Go ahead, bro.
Quick question. Let's say it's 2020, it's 2028, and the year before the PS6 launched, right? And it's 2028. How many PlayStation, like how many great PlayStation 6 games would you consider like be a successful year? Does that make sense?
No, it does. But my question is, under what criteria? Like basically,
so
under my personal criteria, like I want X amount of games, or under like this is the best we're gonna get because this is realistically what we're gonna get.
So to answer your question, it would be under current conditions.
Yeah,
but
that's the word I was looking for. By the way, conditions.
Yeah, under current conditions, but you're looking at it from an objective point of view, not a subjective one. An objective one where you're like, oh, like they released, like for example, Baldur's Gate 3 was meant it was a successful part of the year, right? But even though you didn't play the game, you can acknowledge that the game was significant for the year where it came out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. The answer upsets me, but again, we're trying to be objective here. If we get 2, I would say it was a good year. You know, that's the standard we have now. Unfortunately, that's the standard we have now. You know, actually, if I'm being really, really real, maybe 1. Man, this shit is looking bleak, bro. All right, let's move on here. Coel, who's been with us all night, chiming in. All right, without some break in technology, it seems more likely that we will be streaming at least portions of our games soon. With the latest breakthrough in fiber optic speeds, potentially thousands of terabytes a second, does this future seem inevitable in your opinion, or do you feel like there will always be at least a small group of people that will demand local gaming? Yeah, local gaming is not going to go away. I'm not going to move over to fucking streaming gaming. That's for damn sure. You know, like, like here's the thing. I've accepted the digital stuff because it's just more convenient, but that's where it ends. I'm not going to go streaming. That's too fucking much. That's a bridge too far. You know, I think I speak for most people on this panel, if not all of us, that we don't like that shit at all. You know, streaming your fucking games, like that's all. The only way you engage with your video games is stream. Fuck that shit. No way.
I mean, the thing about it is like all it is just deployed so that you don't own the shit that you buy. And
this is why the fucking assholes like Satya Nadella are saying, "Oh yeah, you just stream your games; it's cheaper." I'm going to say this, Manny. I'm sorry, I got to go off on a little bit of a tangent and a rant, right? Because conspiracy theory. I'm going to call this one. I don't know if it's a tinfoil headband or a full hat. One of them. What if the RAM shit is being done on purpose so that people start moving over to the cloud, subscribe to their shit, right? Fuck owning your own stuff. You're going to go through us, right? Because fucking HP was talking about how like they're going to like, I don't know if it was HP, but it was some company saying you could just use our servers to do your computing, your everyday work. You don't need actual hardware anymore. Again, conspiracy theory of mine, but I think these companies may be trying to get us to that inevitability where it's like, okay, you're not going to own your shit. You're going to go through us, you know? It's fucked up. And Coel, I hope you don't want that future because that's a very dystopian future. We already live in enough of a fucking dystopia. You want it to be that much more? I don't know about that, bro. You know? Fuck that. You're going to rent your PC, you know? Think about it, right? If a PC costs $5,000, renting one seems like a good alternative, doesn't it? It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up, you know? Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Nope. I guess.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I mean, yeah, like that's again, they don't want you to own anything. They want you to be they just want you to be able to just go on there. Like it's so much easier for them to just sell you a service. You know, hey, look, you're buying, you're renting your computer. They want all of that because they continuously generate money. They don't want you to be able to sit with this thing and just be like, oh hey, you know, it does everything I need. No, they want you to pay for all of it. And so that's movies, that's games, that's all of it.
Yeah. Bro, we're getting to a point where if you buy a fucking car, you got to subscribe to get heated seats. I'm not making this up. Like, what the hell are we doing? You know,
they'll block different things out because they figure, okay, if you're paying the subscription, why the fuck do you have to subscribe to get a fucking heated seat? If you buy something, you should be able to buy it. But I mean, even now, even now, or it's like, you know, where we'll talk about the elephant in the room that is Microsoft, where in other words, you buy any one of their disc games, there's only a 220 gigs of stuff that's on there, and then the rest of it is just empty space, and then you have to download the rest of it from online. So it's just the disc. All it is just the key for the download.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
I feel like, to answer the question, it's more of like, I don't think it's important if we like it or not, because I feel like that's just what they're going to shove into our freaking faces.
Unfortunately.
That's it's crazy. You know, we're going to this point where they control everything. And obviously this has been going on for, you know, a while. It's sort of trickling down since you know, these consoles have been going online, and yeah, I mean, it's going to get better. The streaming part is going to get better, but yeah, I do also agree that these companies, they're seeing this whole thing where, oh, you know, PCs are getting more expensive to make. Oh, we don't have any more parts. How about you go to the streaming side? You know, buy our cloud computing so you can play your video games. So you don't own the hardware, you don't own the software, you don't own anything. You don't even own the internet. You pay for everything. And you know, I'm just thinking about that comment you made, Tony, about the cars. It's like,
yeah,
pretty soon these cars are gonna have loot boxes on them, and you're gonna
fuck.
You want your car with this decal?
Music, I don't know anything.
Yo, you gotta subscribe to make the brake work. Your subscription with that. Oh, fuck, it's speed now, son. We can't stop. Oh man,
your car bounced, so you're gonna bounce.
That's some crazy shit. Imagine that, bro. It's like you don't pay your subscription, your car's just gone because it drove away on its own. You know.
Well,
back to the lot.
They do have where there's a certain amount of mileage that you have to agree to hit. If you do, then you have to pay more because they're assuming that you're going to trade it back. So you can try to get a lower rate if you say you're doing a certain mileage. So yeah, I can see people like, damn, I wish I could take that trip, but I can't.
I can't do it.
Do it.
You have your Tesla car and it's on lease. And if you forget to pay a month, that shit, you know, has full self-driving. That shit's gonna drive out of your fucking park.
Drive. It's just gonna go.
Deuces.
Just got stolen. Gotta go. You get an email, an alert, like pay your bill. Oh no.
Yeah, your car sent you that text too because it's using AI. Hey, listen, it was a good run, man, but I gotta go home.
Party's over, buddy. Party's over.
Like, well, you can't go. You're my wife. Oh man, this shit is crazy. What future are we living in now, man?
Also, I've been texting the fellas about some of my my old gaming collection.
Whoa.
And not gonna lie, man, it makes me sad because when I'm trying to sell a lot of stuff, and then I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, I can just plug this in and play it, and not deal with all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And this is the last of its kind too.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to be like this.
You know.
Right. Oh Lord, things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about the rest of you guys? Cloud gaming, yay or nay?
Who wants that? Nobody wants that. I don't even like streaming anything. I'm a hoarder. You know this.
Yeah.
God damn, everything I have is a hoard. I just can't. I don't like it. I don't like, because we see where it's going. It's like they're taking everything away. They want to own it. These industries want to own everything. We see now the disclaimers on Steam and all the other ones, like, hey, just so you know, you don't really own this. You're just licensing. If at any point they decide to pull it, because we're seeing a lot of games get delisted these days, it's like, hey, they have the right.
Yeah.
They want to take it away. They have the right. You have zero rights. You're only paying for the right to play this now. And yeah, someone can argue like, well, when I die, I can't bring any of this with me. But I would like to know that within my life, as I get older, if I want to play one of these old games, I can. And the truth is, even if there's a digital version available now, still doesn't mean that it'll work later on, because if these networks go down, PlayStation, Xbox, if they don't have some contingency plans, when I put in that disc version of a game I own, it still might not work because it has to verify it's not a bootleg. And if there's no mothership to talk to, this shit still won't work. So physical or not, it's not like the old cartridge days of just picking up and playing it. And like, there you go. Who knows about this? Nobody. Who cares about it? Nobody. This is just me and my console and my bullshit game, and that's it. But those days are gone. Those days are gone.
Yeah. All right. Unless anybody else wants to say anything else on that.
I do like your theory, Tony, about why RAM is the way it is. It's interesting theory. I don't quite fully believe it in that it's.
There's some holes in that logic. It's just something I'm working with, you know.
But I definitely can see that it may not have been planned that way, but because the way things are going, they just see it as a good opportunity to go down that route. I can see that angle, but yeah, it's interesting. Let's see what happens. And this day and age, no matter how ludicrous the theory is, it still turns out to be right. So, yeah.
Yeah. Rich, cloud gaming thoughts?
It's great.
Yeah, I believe there will always be local gaming available. I have been trying out the Xbox Game Pass cloud gaming. I haven't run into any issues with any of the games I tried to play. So, but overall, hey, it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Well, you asked the question about AI. We'll go with it because Brett's not here. Because this will be easy one for us on this panel to answer. All right. With AI seeming to be the future, how do you guys hope to see AI be used in gaming? I'm kind of hoping for games where AI builds worlds with actual history modeled out as a simulation so that when we play it, everything you see has a real past. That is the future I hope for. What do I want to see with AI in gaming? Nothing. I don't want any of that shit in gaming. Not a drop. None of that shit. Fuck, not even in conceptualizing a fucking game, So nope, I don't want it at all. And think about this: even in these worlds that that you're talking about that they generate, guess what happens, right? Because AI doesn't make shit up on its own; it steals shit. So it's ripping off other games, right? And even if they keep it localized or it's just take assets from the games we made, it's still rehash shit, right? So even that wouldn't be good. But no, in general, keep AI away from creative shit, right? Again, I understand it has some purposes elsewhere, but when it comes to creativity shit, nope, keep that shit the fuck away, with all due respect to, Roger Ebert, games are art, so keep that AI away from it. I don't want it any fucking way, bro. Anyway, does anyone disagree?
I don't disagree. I just I think the thing about it is that people don't who think, again, that's not, to each his own, but I feel like when you start thinking of it, of things that people enjoy as products like that, just to be thrown on an assembly line, I feel like that's when it just starts to become less art and more a functional product.
Yeah.
So I think that's the question that do you just want, is it the question I think a lot of people should ask themselves, is it just the fact that you just want more of this thing and you don't care about where it comes from? Because that is a problem, because you got to all of your Mass Effects and all of those things that exist, those things that existed, they all came from people. And if you're just looking for just a copycat of that, then it's no better than just buying a fucking Chinese knockoff of something, because it just looks like the thing that you enjoy. There's a lot more to that than that.
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys?
The only thing that I can see AI making sense in games is in a procedural game or a multiple choice game where it's just not possible to record all lines of dialogue. Like in that case, I can see it having its use, but everything else is kind of a bit weird. You know? So it would be nice to have a game where you just like can just go do anything, well, quote unquote, do anything, and then have the world react to actually what you did and how you did it. But honestly, after that, I can't think of anything else. But I can say that there's one type of AI that Tony and Manny are okay with being in games, and that's in a Terminator game.
Yeah. To see, I want to go back. I want to go back to those days, right, when AI was just fucking something from science fiction, not this LLM shit. And let's just be clear about that. We're talking about LLMs here. This shit is not artificially intelligent. You know, it's artificial, but it's not intelligent. You know, because people are gonna go, oh, AI has been in games forever. Different type of AI, bro. Because it's not fucking that shit. Is at least that's more intelligent than fucking LLM. You know, but yeah, I do like Terminator AI. I do agree with that, Brian. I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do. Oh man, the more contact I have with humans, the more I learn.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right, man, let's get to it, man. Last question of the night. Thank you, Barry Burton, for throwing this at us at the end of the show. Rest in peace to Hideki Sato. Question, what is the best Sega hardware of all time? Yeah, Mr. Sato here helped, passed away 72 years old around. He designed pretty much all the Sega consoles that you know. Or your beloved one. So shout out to him. He's been with Sega since 1971, man. Long time, So yeah, my favorite Sega, bro. Fuck. It's gotta be it's Dreamcast. It's Dreamcast.
What? Really?
Yeah, man. Like that is the best piece of hardware they ever had, man. Best graphics. That the fucking CD player in there. You had a modem in that bitch. So yeah, that like the Dreamcast was basically the Xbox before the Xbox. We wouldn't have an Xbox without that. Like they saw the kind of the blueprint there. And then the game, like we're talking about just the hardware. Yeah, and then the controller with the VMU and shit. Like that was like,
I never
wow.
used it.
Yeah, I've never used it, but it was cool. But yeah, we're just talking about just the hardware because we're talking about what our favorite Sega, or what our favorite Sega console is. I give a different answer.
That's what it is, right? It's like if someone says, "Hey, what brings the memories flowing?" and that's not what brings it for me. I mean, I would think what brings us to the dance of Sega. What is that?
Well, you're taking it, somewhere else. But yeah, like if you're going that way, it would be a toss-up between Genesis and Saturn for me, But if you're talking about just objectively the best, it's a Dreamcast, hands down, But that's my answer. What's going on, Otaku Man? He goes, the most powerful is the Dreamcast. Damn right. Go ahead, Adam. What about yours? What's the best Sega hardware? Genesis.
All those EA games, having the rugby game and seeing blood on the screen. Remember those days, Manny? Like, oh, look at these guys. Oh, just all of it. Just the hockey games and the football. Who could forget your players injured on the field and an ambulance comes and just runs over everybody else to get to that guy and pick him up and take him out. There was so many other great games. Streets of Rage was on.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there was so many games that they just. It just when I think of Sega, that's it for me. It's just you got the Sonic. Sonic was fun, but then Mortal Kombat and all those games that were there, that was the ultimate. And then I was so happy to build like a Transformer. I got the Sega CD, and then I took my console and I stuck it on top of it, and I was like, look at this, it's growing. It's like then I didn't get the 32X. Or did I don't remember. I don't think I did.
I bought that shit.
I had it. Yeah.
You had it, right? You had it. But that's what I'm saying. That if you had that on top of everything else, it was getting even bigger. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. It was awesome. So I could have never guessed at that point that I would live in a time where there was no Sega console because it just seemed like it was Come on now, like even like then later on the Dreamcast, that was a big deal with the NFL games. Remember the 2K games? That was mind blowing to see those NFL games on the NFL 2K series, to the point that the EA got nervous and got that exclusivity deal with Madden and the whole thing with the NFL, and they created Madden and they just chopped them off. They're like, no, you're ruining us. Yeah, that game is too good. Yeah. So, but yeah, for me, it's definitely the Genesis.
All right, Manny, what about you? You're muted.
Let's see. The memory console, I guess, would definitely be the Genesis, Sega Genesis. You know, because that was the one. As far as the last memory, I would say would be the Dreamcast, because it's just like, to be honest, that was the future of gaming.
Yep.
Even though it didn't do the things that it was, it didn't do all the things that they had hoped what it would do. But what are consoles right now? That was it, right? With the exception of the silly VMU thing, that's pretty much a modern console. It's connected online. It ran a version of Windows in the background. You remember that one? Remember, was it CS it ran? So a lot of these things, use off the shelf parts. It literally paved the way for what the Xbox became later on.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a pioneer system. Rich, what about you, man? What's the best Sega hardware for you? And is it the Game Gear?
That took like 15 batteries. Holy shit. Oh my Lord.
Oh no, I do like the Sega Genesis, but I have to go right there with you, Tony, with Dreamcast, because if I recall correctly, that was the first console where I actually had to get a certain game imported, because I couldn't get it here in the States. I believe that was one of the fighting games.
I wonder which one it was. Could have been SNK or
I don't know
something.
which one it was, because
the Fist of the North Star. I could swear, like I remember those older, well, not those older, but those type of fighting games are missing.
It could have been that. I have to. I'm trying to remember what it was. But I like that console in general for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wilson, what's going on, brother? In the chat, he goes, Dreamcast for me, first console I bought for myself. Same for me, first one I bought for myself. And that first weekend with that launch lineup, yeah, bro. And that's the other thing, man, with the memories, right? All summer long, right? Manny and I would go to games. Was it called GameStop at that point? Was it still?
Oh,
it was
etc.
We go there every fucking week. Put a little bit down payment. And we play the games on the kiosk. They had Sonic Adventure and shit. Waiting all fucking summer for that shit, right? And then the day it drops, I skipped school that day. I went to that fucking store, I think Manny and I we went together, we went to your place first. I was like, no, we're good. We're, because you're closer, obviously. We go to your place, playing some games, set it all up. Then I go play my all weekend. So the memories of that, like, it has to be, the Dreamcast, bro. It's so fucking good, All right, Carlos, favorite Sega hardware.
Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Yeah, it's the Sega Genesis, just because for the mere fact that I think I played that way more than I did any other Sega console. I never had a Saturn. My cousin did, so that's I only played it through that. And the Dreamcast, I didn't get to play as many games because it didn't last as long, and because of the generation where it was in, it was just in a packed situation.
Yeah.
And for the Genesis, I mean, I prefer the SNES, but man, I gotta give it to Sega because it held its own.
Yeah, man.
Even with that type of competition. So yeah, Sega Genesis for me.
Fun fact: the Sega Genesis was actually, for most of that time, when the console were really, really picked up, for most of that time, Sega Genesis was actually beating the Super Nintendo, right? But then Super Nintendo dropped Donkey Kong. This shit was over. fucking sold millions of consoles, you know, but they were neck and neck.
Millions.
Huh? The millions.
I know it really got, millions. I just never saw it in Donkey Kong. To me, I've never been a Donkey Kong guy. Like
but that's
Mario,
the game that
no,
did it,
like,
you know.
I am surprised. Yeah, I mean, isn't that what's doing it now for Switch?
Well, are you
too?
surprised?
Isn't that the
No
one game?
no game looked like that back then. That was enough to sell a game back then, you know.
That shit was colorful as fuck, man.
Yeah, like yo, that's CG. You know, like it looked crazy. You know, and then Genesis tried to do its
balloons
own
look
version.
realistic.
Yeah, right. So yeah, when Donkey Kong came, it's like, oh shit, it's a wrap. You know.
For me, it was Super Mario World. That was awesome. That looked great. All the different changing, and then you had the cape. I was like, I'm Superman. Look at me go.
Yeah. Oh no, Super Mario it's still good till this day, man.
Yeah, it's
a
solid game.
But I know you don't like it, but so is Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is good, man. I still play that shit. You know, and I'm still looking at Donkey Kong, you know, in that old Super Nintendo. I'm like, I still like that better than the newer ones that's out now. Yeah, you know.
That Marlin mission?
Yo, excuse me? Oh yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, Genesis is legendary, man. But yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. It's like that shit was beating Super Nintendo for most of the lifetime. And then it's like fucking Donkey Kong came out. And then ironically enough, Nintendo decided to be like edgy like Sega was, because they were trying like the straight laced guys and shit for a while. They weren't trying to do that, but then they started getting, you know, all edgy and shit too, you know. If you can't beat them, join them, right? Oh man.
Yeah, and it's also crazy to think back, you know, I think they sold maybe 30 to 40 million consoles during that time.
Yeah.
And that was a lot.
It's a lot.
But now like 30 million is nothing. It's
That ain't
like, yo
shit.
man, why is that a failure?
I mean, that's how much Xbox sold. That's considered a failure. Oh man, I'm not even making that up. Brian, do you have any favorite Sega hardware?
I actually don't.
That's what I figured. Have you had any
They just
kind
keep
of
running.
like no
I-
cousins
from-
or nothing like that had them, Brian? Nothing.
Nope. Started Nintendo 64 and then went to PlayStation, and that's been it.
In my brain, I just keep remembering that story that you told about, like, was it getting on your bike and riding to a game store and picking up your PlayStation? And
Oh, that's my
putting it in
PlayStation
your bag?
3.
That was your PlayStation 3, and then riding
Yeah.
home. And
Oh no, walking home because it was so damn snowed that I couldn't cycle. And plus, the last thing I'd want to do is cycle on the snow with my brand new PS3 in my bag.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
fall off and break it.
that reminds me of the whole thing of buying a console and having to take the long train ride home with it. It's like with something in my bag. I'm like, I'm gonna get jacked. This is
Yo,
it.
I remember
They give a
when
big
fucking
bag
Manny
and
got his PS3. He took that shit right to the taxi cab. Goes right down the block. He took that went straight home.
Yeah, well, that's it. No, man. Like, I mean, granted that, you know, 71st and Continental Avenue wasn't like that, you know, like it wasn't
No.
about your crime, but I wasn't about to walk a fucking, what was it? How much was that console? It wasn't 600. We got it when it dropped, didn't we? It was like
Yeah, it
four
was
or
like
something.
4 something. Yeah.
Yeah, for something, and I
Because
wasn't about to.
on 71st Continental, the taxi stand is literally just
They right
around the corner.
right across-
Manny
right around
ran
the
it like
corner.
he was doing his own, because he bought he bought it from Metal Gear. He did his own stuff, but he grabbed that shit, ran out, you know, had a copy of that and Brutal Legend. Remember that shit, Manny? We
Yep,
bought both
yep.
those motherfuckers.
We bought those on
Because
the same
it
day.
was a dead giveaway. You walk out, big sofa.
Well, no,
set your back.
Brutal
What else? What
Legend-
did you buy there?
Brutal Legend came out with Uncharted.
Was it Uncharted? No,
Uncharted.
I could have
Yeah,
sworn
it
it
was
came out the same day as because Uncharted 2, you're right. Because we were the only
Uncharted
ones
2.
like, yo, we'll take a copy of Uncharted and Brutal
And
Legend.
Brutal Legend.
Like what?
No,
You
but
know?
but I had, what happened is that when I bought that PS3, it came with a copy of Metal Gear Solid 3. But I also bought the special edition of it that had the thing. So because I wanted the PlayStation, but I wanted the special edition thing. So I sold you Metal Gear the Metal Gear Solid 3 that came with the console.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then-
Yeah.
And then I just had to think. So we all went back to my place in the taxi.
Yeah, that's it.
In and out.
Yeah, because remember, this was still when people. This was long after this happened, but remember when PS3 first came out, people motherfuckers getting shot. So we were joking like, "Yo, we don't want to get shot."
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. If I got the money and I was working in animation at that point in time, so I could afford me a taxi. But yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, we did that real quick. That's fun. By the way, since we're doing the little RIP there, so it turns out the director. Yeah, the creative director of Bloodstained, the Scarlet Engagement, the new Bloodstained, passed away. That's sad. 52 years old. My man's young.
Yeah, he passed away a few weeks ago, I think.
Wow.
It's a big deal, like, because it's sad because he has a lot of history in the industry, working with Konami and all that's like he's got what was it? He had some connections with Metal Gear and stuff. So it's sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, with that, let's start wrapping it up. Let's plug some stuff. Adam, I'm very happy to say this, man. What's going on in the TV terminal?
A lot of TV, a lot of TV.
A lot of terminals.
A lot of terminals, one big terminal. Covering Cross Now, that's over on Prime Video. That's their name, not Amazon Prime. It's Prime Video. So we got that, and getting hyped for and recording some stuff, getting ready for Monarch Season 2, Legacy of
Godzilla.
Monster.
Okay.
Yes, Godzilla, Kong, all of them. That kicks off on Friday. Next Friday, 27th, but it's coming. But anyway, we're getting ready. But Cross is up now. We got 3 episodes of Cross, and that's it. We did Fallout and all the other stuff. A lot of people heated on that one.
Uh-oh.
Some good, some bad. People come out. I hate you. I can't wait to kill you.
Damn.
Then other people like us, and then they attack each other. That's always fun. But yeah, that's what's going on our TV terminal, and then we got some other stuff later on when the months come down. But that's what's happening, right?
All right. Rich was coming up on the coalition this week.
Yeah, so we are in the midst of a very busy gaming season. I am literally swimming in several games right now. So you will see some stuff starting to be covered on the website this week. Some stuff that I can talk about and other stuff I cannot talk about. But yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot of stuff in the works at this time. So continue to check out thecoalition.com as well as the Coalition Gaming channel for sure.
All right. Manny, you got anything?
Yes. So I have a Blood and Thunder number 10 that's out in the street right now. Boom, Visual Aid God. So yeah, that's covered by Cara Randolph and myself. Also TMNT Battle Nexus number 5, which is coming out in March very soon. Covered by Kari Randolph and myself on the TMNT 2003 side, and the director of TMNT 2012 drawing on the left side or right side. It'll be the right side, but anyway, so it's a cool jam cover coming out. Fans of the TMNT franchises, they're all big and happy about the Battle Nexus crossover. So yeah, that's what's going on in the streets right now.
All right. And one last thing, little bit vain of me, but I'll do it. It's officially 12:36 a.m., which means, Manny, what day? I'll let you do it. What day is it?
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
28 years old.
20 years old. Oh, man. I don't look a day over 50, I'm not 50 yet, by the way. Oh, man. Another spin around the sun or whatever they call it. Just another more day for me. I'll probably not even do nothing, I'll probably just be playing a game I'm reviewing right now. Yeah, boy. We'll hear more about that soon. But yeah, good stuff. I think that's pretty much it. So let's wrap it up here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord and check us out on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight, I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, everybody.
Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good week, everyone.
And Brian Manjoma.
When in doubt, you blame the gamers.
Uh-oh, here we go. Yeah, that's right. You know, Highguard didn't fail because it's a bad game. It's failed because of you, Brian. You caused it to fail.
Why are you so negative, Brian? You're ruining everything, taking all the fun away.
By the way, there's a name for these games now. They call them Concordian games. Oh, man, son. Let me see. I think I posted this shit on our Twitter. It's like, oh, here we go. See if I don't have it here. But yeah, it's like, basically, it's like Concord, Highguard, and then next up is Marathon. And then after that's going to be the fucking Horizon game, you know? Oh, man, it's bad out there. All right, anyway, we will see you next time. And if you're in America, enjoy President's Day. I will be enjoying my day off. It's a cool thing, right? Day off, my birthday, let's fucking go. You know?
That's it. Yeah. Relax. Read some comics.
Yeah. All right, guys. Later.
Laters.